What's up, my good peoples? I am James Anderson, and this is Be Transformed, where we help people discover identity, purpose, and vision. Today, we're talking about environment, because the environment that you keep on a habitual basis is what you feed off of and are nourished by. What you're constantly nourished by is what you become conformed to. So Paul breaks it down like this in 2 Corinthians chapter 3. He says, as we with unveiled faces contemplate on the Lord's glory, we're being transformed into his image with ever increasing glory. And this is from the Lord who is the Spirit. So as you think about, meditate, marinate on the Lord's glory, you're being conformed to his image. With ever increasing glory, we are holders and partakers of the glory of God. It says in Isaiah 61, it says, we're oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord to display his splendor. That's you. So it says, as you think about who God actually is, you become like him. And this is from the Lord. This is his purpose, that you be conformed to the image of the Son. In Romans 8, it says, those God foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of the Son, that he might be the firstborn of many brothers and sisters. So those God foreknew, he knew ahead of time. He also predestined, set their destination. What do I want these guys to become like? So what he gave forethought to, he also gave the ability to become. So he says, you're going to be conformed to the image of the Son. Well, Jesus was the ability to step into your true identity so that he would be the firstborn of many brothers and sisters. He became like us so we could become like him. He died the death so that we could die with him. So that when he was raised to life, we could be raised with him. That's baptism. That's the reality of baptism. Where the old is gone and now the new has come. You're not born of perishable seed, but of imperishable. Through the living and enduring word of God, which means it doesn't change. It doesn't disappear. God is not a man that he should lie or change his mind. No, instead, he's the guy who makes the end known from the beginning. Predestined. Your destination was predetermined to be conformed to the image of the Son. And how do you do it? By beholding his glory. Look, that whole verse, in context, Paul's talking about when Moses would hang out in the presence of God, and he'd come out and his face was shining like the sun, man. The glory was upon him. It was tangible. It was measurable. It was visible. This is for real. So Moses would put a veil over his face because it would fade. But so Paul's like, dude, if there was that kind of glory in that old covenant that was so tangible, so visible, so measurable, then what kind of glory is in this covenant? So Psalms 1 breaks it down like this. It says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the ways of sinners, or sit down to rest with mockers who ridicule. It says, now this guy, his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on that law he meditates day and night. This guy is like a tree planted by streams of water. Because of that, he bears fruit in season. His leaves don't wither, and whatever he does prospers. So we're talking about an environment. This is interesting, right? Okay, so this first environment, right? You don't want to live like this, right? Blessed is the man who doesn't walk in the counsel of the wicked, right? Like, what should my life look like? What's a family life look like? You know, how should I even make money? Who is God, right? You're not seeking that junk from the wicked. That's dumb. Blessed is the guy who doesn't stand in the ways of sinners. Like, what do you do with your life, man? What do you do? Who do you hang out with? And what are you freaking doing? Right? Blessed is the guy who does not sit down to rest with mockers who ridicule. What are you watching at night? What are you constantly feeding on through your phone or TV? This is real. This is real. He says, but this guy, look at this. His delight, that means it's for reals. It means he actually wants to do it and he gets pleasure from it. His delight is in the law of the Lord. And on that law, he meditates day and night. Why? Because what you continue to feed on, you become nourished by. What you're continually nourished by is what you be conformed to. And when you become nourished by the glory of God, my good peoples, then you will literally be somebody who displays the splendor of God. So this guy, right, this is the environment. In this environment, in the kingdom environment, based on truth, all right, he's like a tree. Dude, sexy tree, by the way. Super sexy. Firmly planted, freaking movable, by streams of water that constantly feed it. Because of that, he produces fruit in season. His leaves don't wither because they're too busy being lush. And whatever he does prospers or grows to full maturity. It says, not so the wicked, because they're like chaff that the wind blows away. The guy who meditates on the law of the Lord, he's like a tree firmly planted in a place that it's constantly nourished by. The wicked are like chaff that's like barely even substance that can't stand the force of a slight breeze. That's sexy, man. David said it like this in Psalm 119. He says, I'm wiser than all of my teachers, my advisors, because I meditate on your testimonies. I think about what you did in the past, and I apply that to what I do today, and it makes me wise. God said to Joshua in chapter 1, he says, be careful to not let this law depart from your lips. Meditate on it day and night so that you're careful to do all that it says, so that you prosper in all you do. It's almost like the God of the universe who created all things, the earth, and put us on it on purpose, knows what he's talking about. It's almost like we were made to be connected with God. The environment that you keep on a habitual basis is what you constantly feed off of and are nourished by. So here at Be Transformed, we're creating an environment on purpose that would produce a culture of people who would be like this tree planted by streams of water. Just to be clear, have you ever been out in the wilderness next to a tree and these streams of water? This is a sight to behold. It's beautiful. It's a place that brings peace. It's a place where other people come on purpose to find peace. Where you display the splendor and people are drawn to you and taste the goodness of God from your life because you live in abundance because of the environment that you keep. Now, check it. I think it was John Maxwell. He says everything you want is uphill, in the sense that you don't accidentally wander uphill. Like it's through intention and action that you would walk uphill. So what you want, the habits you need to create, the ability to become, and the action you need to take to become is all intentional. It's not an accident. So here at Be Transformed, we're creating an environment that says all day I keep it cultivated. Dude, here's what we got cooking. We got our daily cultivation, right? This is going to be on Facebook, and everything's going to be on our website at teambetransformed.com. So the daily cultivation is an article, something just to chew on, some thoughts about some scripture that'll be glorious, right? Then we're going to be pumping out more videos. Then we got a podcast in the lineup to bring some entertainment mixed with some thoughts that stimulate wholesome thinking on purpose. And then I'm narrating books of the Bible. I'm throwing my voice down on the narrating Bible. Because with the narrated book of the Bible, it gives you the opportunity to get into more volume and repetition, right? Because you can be doing other things while you listen to it. Like, doing the dishes, cooking dinner, driving to work, going for a walk. Volume and repetition are important because with volume you get more context. With repetition, this is how you change the way you think. The more you just kind of put all this information in front of you, the more you hear it. Some stuff you You won't remember, it'll just go in one ear. It doesn't matter, because then you're going to find there's these things that just stand out. And because you put yourself in an environment that stimulates wholesome thinking, what happens? It literally stimulates wholesome thinking. So let me paint this picture. All right, so let's just say you wake up in the morning and you crack open some reading. All right, you go to work or get about your day, and then maybe you take a break and you bust into the daily cultivation, right? There's a couple thoughts standing out. Maybe a verse stood out from this morning when you were reading. And on your way home, you listen to a couple chapters of the Bible. Well, so just because you've been keeping this environment, there's these couple things you've been thinking about. Over the past week, there's like this theme that keeps standing out. So because of this environment, it's just causing you to continue to think. Just almost on a subconscious level, it's just like these things that you just they just become normal. You're just always thinking about these glorious things. So you run into somebody at night, they're like, hey, what's up, man? How was your day? And you're like, dude, I keep thinking about this verse. So you, ever so effortlessly, just start sharing the glory of God that you've been cultivating in your mind. Because out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So this is you not even trying. So because of what you're cultivating is the glory of God, you share it with somebody else, and the glory is in what you're sharing. So it encourages, inspires, builds up, makes whole that person, right? This is glorious. This is just you at default because of the environment that you keep. So let's just say there's this other person, right? They wake up late, on the way to work, they get cut off, they get to work, they're all grumpy, they're like, shoot, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm not getting paid enough to be here. Wah this, wah that, negative, blah, blah, blah. Okay, these guys, he's cultivating this junk, right? You catch them at the end of the day. You're like, hey man, what's up? How's your day? Dude, they're like, oh, an opportunity to vomit on somebody. Because out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks, and you know what I'm talking about. A person who will continue to cultivate suck, right? If you don't get into an environment that would stimulate some different thinking that's bigger than your environment, you'll never create the ideas or see the potential of what you could become, what you could get into, the glory your life could look like. But we, as people who on purpose cultivate a lifestyle that dwells in the glory of God, we run into people like that, and we bring healing. My good peoples, all day I keep it cultivated. Dude, join the movement. This is a place to come and feed off of, but this is also a place to come and contribute. Man, we got articles. There's room for people to help out with articles, or just even starting conversations on Facebook or wherever, just saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. We're people who are going somewhere. We're seeking out knowledge that we could apply because of what it would cause us to encounter and how it would cause us to become who we're created to become. My good peoples, I am James Anderson. This is Be Transformed. Change the way you think. Change your life. Peace!